Tonight, I think about 3 years ago, he was on our waiting list for a solid year before he got back in, and I was so glad to see him come back. I called him Thursday night, and I was like, hey, how you feel about giving your testimony Sunday night? He said, I'd be more than happy to, and I appreciate that. And he's not only a graduate of this program, he's a brother in Christ, but he's a very good friend of mine, and I love him. Come on up here, Jason Mathis.
Well, good evening, everybody. I'm Jason. I grew up in a small town not too far from here, about 30 miles from here, a little town called Vidette. Everybody's like, oh, yeah, man, I know where Vidalia is. I'm like, not Vidalia, Vidette. Just a little farm town on the other side of Midville, just four-way stop and a country store. But my grandparents had a big cotton farm out there. But anyway, my childhood was, I don't think it was very normal, but like around 6, my parents got divorced, and I had 2 older brothers, and my mom got remarried right away, and so my new stepdad, he had a, well, here, let me back up. My parents got divorced because my dad liked to drink. He liked to drink, party, and hang out with all his friends and crowd and not come home, till late at night. And every weekend he was gone at the hunting club and so forth. And so my mom couldn't take no more of that. My mom didn't drink or none of that. And my mom's parents, they didn't drink and party like that. They was good Christian folks. My granddaddy built the church in our town. And he was a good man. Everybody around there loved him, and he took care of families, and he went out of his way to help people. So anyways, around 6, they got divorced. My mom got remarried right away, and she messed up, married another alcoholic. But I get he had a son that was he was born with spina bifida, and so he was handicapped. And when we moved in with him, my stepbrother Jay, he was in a body cast, and so my mom had to spend a lot of time like taking care of him. And so, needless to say, I didn't have much supervision. I was pretty much on my own all the time. Like, I'd come home from school and I'd be gone until I heard the horn blowing on the car after dark, and then I come home and watch TV, and I used to watch Miami Vice. I used to love that show. Like, Don Johnson was my hero, and so I got to spend like 2 weekends a month with my dad. Like, me and my brothers would go to my dad's, and I don't know. I was real jealous of my 2 older brothers because they had my dad, growing up pretty much most of their life. My dad, like, he was coach of their football team and baseball team and stuff like that, and I never had nothing like that with my dad. I don't even have any memories of my mom and dad together, us living together. But I love my daddy, and I wanted to be like him, which that wasn't a good thing. But so when we'd spend time with my dad on the weekends, we'd either be at the hunting club with all his buddies, and that's all. They'd be drinking and playing cards, and that's all I was around on the weekends when I was there. And if it wasn't hunting season, we was down at Savannah River at a friend of ours' big cabin, and that's all they did down there was party. So, and the weekends when I wasn't there, I'd go to my grandparents over here in Vidette, and live. It was conflicting. So I'd be there, and go to church with them, and I had friends in Vidette that I grew up with that were good people, but I always felt different because all my friends like that, their mom and daddies were together, and mine wasn't. I felt like I bounced around a lot, and I don't know. I didn't feel like I was real important. I felt like they couldn't keep it together for me, you know, so I guess I just felt like, I don't know, sort of abandoned or whatever. So time goes on. I'm up with my dad and them, and then once I got a little older, they start sending me to mix drinks for them. So I'm mixing drinks for them. So then I'm like, you know, they sure be having a good time on this stuff. So I'd wait till they about 3 drinks in, and every time I go make them a drink, I'd make me a drink too. Yep. I tell you what, man, that liquor, I tell you what, man, it turned me into a different person. But it made all them feelings go away, man. You know, all them bad feelings I used to carry around with me, feeling like I was worthless and stuff like that. But being with my grandparents and going to church and all that, and you know, I knew about God and Jesus, and part of me wanted that, but then the other part, you know, I was trying to be like my dad and all them. And another thing too, like all my dad's friends, they was all racist, you know, to the core. And then my grandparents totally opposite, you know. So, like I said, I was living in 2 different worlds, man. Like, so, anyways, I start doing this drinking undercover, and don't nobody know it. And I mean, it was so crazy. My stepmom, which is nuts. My dad married her because she ain't never drank in her life. She ain't never smoked. This woman never even said a cuss word. And she married my wild daddy. But she was so worried about my daddy going to these parties and stuff, and then driving home, that she sent me off to these parties with my daddy, and had me drive my daddy home. Well, little did they know, I'd be more mess up my daddy trying to drive my daddy home, man. I'd be like, see that white line on the side of the road and just try to stay with it, man. It was, I don't know how I made it through all that. Anyways, but so didn't have much of a stable family life like that. And then one time I got this wild idea in my head. My hero, like I said, was Don Johnson on Miami Vice. So I was like, well, if I'm going to be like him, you know, 'cause I started trying to dress like him and do my hair like him. And I'm like, you know what? Well, yeah, I better get me a couple of guns, you know. And I'm only like 10 or 11 years old. And here, I mean, I think I was probably younger than that. So I knew my granddaddy had a 38 in a drawer over there beside the bed. And I'm like, well, he ain't gonna know it's there, 'cause he just got it there in case somebody breaks in, but ain't nobody gonna break in, so he ain't gonna know it's gone. So anyway, I take that gun, and then I'm like, you know what? I need another one. So then my friend Mandy, her dad, he had a pistol set up on the gun rack all the time. I decided I was gonna take that one too. And so I got these guns, and I wasn't gonna do nothing with them. Anyway, so I had them under my mattress, in between my mattress and my box spring. That's where I see my daddy always put his gun. So my mom, one day I was at school, I was at elementary school, and I guess my mom was making my bed, and she was tucking the sheets in. She felt something, so she lifted up the mattress, and there's 2 pistols there. So she freaks out. So next thing I know, they pulling me out of school in the middle of the day, and they hauled me off to this place called Charter Hospital of Augusta. Yeah. And I'd seen commercials of this place on TV, you know, like, if you don't get help at Charter, please get help somewhere. And it's got some kid out on the front porch with his dad, and he's got a baseball bat, talking about he's going to beat him with it. So anyway, here we go. They dropped me off there. I'm like, man, please don't leave me here. And they're like, no, you're staying. And I'm like, man. So there went some serious more abandonment issues, I guess you would call it. So, I felt like it was a prison for kids that their parents had money, I guess. So they just throw them in there. Anyways, I hated that place. And they had this doctor named Dr. Bruni. And, see, my dad had a real good job, and he had insurance on us. His company did. So, and I think He bought a nice car after I was there for a minute, you know, off my daddy's money, I think. But yeah, he told them all kind of crazy stuff. He told them I had them guns because I was going to probably try to kill my stepdaddy and all this crazy stuff. I'm like, no, man, y'all got this all wrong, man. I'm trying to be like my hero, Don Johnson, but they wasn't buying it. So anyway, they left me in there, and so then I get out, and I'm carrying more stuff around on me. Like, I don't want people to know I've been in this crazy house or whatever. My life ain't normal already. So, and then I got to where I wasn't hanging around nobody my age. I was hanging around all my brother's friends and stuff, older people, and I was drinking as much as I could, whenever I could, because it made me feel normal when I drank, or you know, because I didn't like the way I felt most of the time, you know. When I drank, man, you know, it felt good. Made me, I guess it put all them other feelings away, and so I'm hanging out with these older people and my brother's friends and stuff, and this is back in the 90s. This is back when crack was pretty bad, and that was a big thing, because I come from my grandparents' side of the family, like well-to-do, good people in the community and all that, and well, you get caught smoking crack, man, and it'll make the whole family look bad and all that. Well, here I go. I'm like 13 years old, running around, smoking crack on the weekends. I'm like, because I always had a four-wheeler growing up, too. My grandparents always bought me four-wheelers and stuff. They spoiled me. Well, anyway, I'd be gone all weekend. I'd be at the juke joint buying beer, stuff, drinking, smoking crack, running around everywhere. And then and that's when I was young. I'm talking 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. And needless to say, man, I got in some bad situations, man, because the people I was around and doing, I mean, this, like, I got in some situations where, you know, I mean, I didn't even have a license or nothing at the time. Like, I'd take off with people, and well, I'd go out with my normal friends or whatever, and we'd cruise the strip in town until like midnight, drinking beer and stuff, maybe smoke a little weed, and then all of them go home. Well, not me. I'm going out to the crack dealer's house out in the country and start to smoke crack. And then I'd take off with people I didn't know. I'd go 3 towns over with people I got in, like, serious, man, I got in some bad situations with some bad people, man, like some sick people. And I was young and naive and thought I knew everything and thought I could get out of any situation, but it didn't work out like that, man. I mean, on several occasions I got myself in a situation where, dude, I've been sexually assaulted before by grown men, you know what I'm saying? And that messed me up, man. That made that worthlessness in me feel like even more, like, you know, and to top it off, I can't say nothing. I couldn't tell my family or nobody, because the stigma. Why you out sneaking around, smoking crack, lying, and doing all this crap? And that's like you got yourself into it or whatever. Like, and I couldn't say, well, I can't tell the cops. Well, yeah, I'm just out smoking crack, running around with these people, and so I mean. That carried that around too, that junk, man. I'm telling you, it made me feel dirty and worthless and freaking, just the shame of it, and like, so that made me drink even more, you know, because all that went away, and the daggone drugs had such a hold on me, man. It's like man, I don't want to get back in a situation like that again. But then next thing you know, 2 weeks later, I am going out on a Friday night, smoking crack all weekend, you know. And so anyways, went to high school. Was crazy. I get kicked out of school somewhere. I get kicked out of school in North Augusta, and I get in trouble there. So then I go live with my dad, my stepmom in Waynesboro until I couldn't get my way down there. And then I'd start manipulating back and forth between my parents and stuff just so I could, do what I wanted pretty much and run the roads and party and so I got kicked out of every high school I went to. And finally, I dropped out my junior year. I then got my second DUI and went and moved in with a friend in Beach Island, South Carolina, man, working at a paint and body shop. And I'd work all week with him and then get paid on Friday and disappear from all my regular friends and be out smoking crack at the crack house and conniving and it got so bad one time that I didn't want to live no more. I wanted to kill myself, but I didn't have no gun to kill myself with. Because if I had a gun, hell, I'd take that and sell it and buy some more crack. I mean, that's God's honest truth, man. So it's like. So I'm like, well, damn, how am I going to do this? And I'm like, well, I guess I could walk way down out there through the swamp, down there towards Kimberly Clark, down there where the railroad tracks are, where that train gets to going slow down through there. I'm like, maybe I just wait till the train gets to going by, and I run out there and jump under the wheel of the train, man. So I walked all the way down there, man. I get down there, and here comes the conductor, and he's all smiling and waving at me. And I'm like, golly, man, I go and do this, man. It's going to ruin this guy, man, And he got cut in half by a train, I'm like, man, I'm like, Lord have mercy, man. I'm like, I can't do that. That's crazy, man. I can't do that man too, So, anyways, so I walked all the way back to Beach Island and carried on this crazy mess. And then, I turned 18. I'm like, finally, I can get out of here. I can get out of Georgia, Augusta. Because my older brother, he'd been working up in Alaska in Bering Sea on the fishing boats. And so I'm like, you know what? I turned 18. I'm going to go up there and work with him. I get away from all this crap down here. I'll be out there on that boat, and I'll be able to save money. And I won't be able to blow all my money on no crack. And that was a lie. Because I got hired. I mean, I went up to Seattle on 17 to the main office. They did my orientation before I was even 18, and then they sent me back home. So when I turned 18, I could fly back, and they put me on a ship. And that's what they did. I've come back to Georgia, turned 18, went back up there. They put me on a boat, and our boat, it was actually off season, so our boat was dry docked in Tacoma, Washington, and so they got the whole boat up out the water. It's like a 300-foot ship. And anyway, they're sandblasting the hull and welding it up to get it ready to paint for the next season because they had stress cracks and stuff all in it from the season before. So here I go. They put me in the engine room working with this guy from Norway called Lars. And he's an engineer. And they put me down there because I grew up on a farm and all that out there in Baudette and stuff. And been working on stuff with my granddaddy, all my life. So they put me down there with him instead of up there with the other two guys painting the deck and all that stuff. So I'm down there with him working on these pumps and engines and stuff. Well, the first mate, I get to watching this guy, and he's going out on the gangway thing across to the top of the dry dock every afternoon, meeting this black dude over there. I'm like, huh. And then I noticed after that, I wouldn't see him all night. He'd be locked in his room. And I'd be walking through the little hallway. I could smell that smell. I'm like, oh boy, he's smoking crack in there. I'm like, I'm going to work my way in that room. Yeah, so all them dreams of getting away from Augusta and going to Alaska and Washington and all that, I'm going to get away from this stuff. No, I was right back in the swing of it, man. I told him, hey, I know what you're doing. You don't let me get in this. I'm gonna tell the captain. He's like, no, come on, man. So, yeah, it was crazy, man. And I'm young. I'm up here in Tacoma, Washington, and like, he'd run out of stuff, and then the dude wouldn't come, so he put me in a cab, dude. I'd take cab all the way to Seattle and go into these parks and stuff, these bad parks, and buy crack, and have to make it all the way back to the boat, man. Huh? Yeah, Pikes Peak, all Occidental Park. Anyways, it was bad. Crazy. I don't know how I ain't dead, y'all, for real. Like, I've been in some heavy, crazy. I've been robbed, all kind of stuff, man. Scary stuff. And so, anyway, we go out to sea, man. Thank God we went out on the ocean finally. We took the boat to Alaska, and then we start fishing, and sober, because we were out in the Aleutian Ocean. They ain't getting no stuff out there. And I'm like, well, I'm going to get off the boat after the season's up and go back and visit my family in Georgia, get me a truck and stuff, do good. I come back, freaking blow all my money in like a month or whatever, 2 months, smoking crack, drinking, renting limousines, taking girls up to Augusta, all kind of stuff. And then it's like, then back to the boat because I ain't got no money. Got to go work on the boat while it's at dock. So, anyways, I do that for 3 years, man. And then my brother, he ended up, my brother, he was wild too, man. He got kicked off from a boat up there, and he ended up in Seattle. He bought a house in Seattle, or not bought a house, but he was renting a house in Seattle. And so I'd come on after the season was over, and then I was supposed to be flying back up for beef season, and the boat was coming in to dock, and that dude I was telling y'all about, the first mate, it was his watch, and they were coming back into port, but he's out there smoking crack in the wheelhouse, got paranoid, turned off the freaking radars and stuff, and they ended up colliding with a container ship like 100 miles off the coast of Dutch Harbor and sank the boat. So now I'm stuck in Seattle with my brother, and so I'm like, man, now I'm with my brother. And this time my brother had got on heroin real bad. He was doing heroin and meth, and so that's when I got introduced to meth. And I was like, man, this stuff, man, I love this stuff, man. I'm like, done with crack, man. I felt great on it, man. I didn't get paranoid. It's cheap, man. Get some stuff done, and yeah. But my brother, like I said, my brother, he done got on heroin and stuff, and I did it a few times with him, but that wasn't my thing, man. Thank God, because I mean I got a real addictive personality, man, and that. But another crazy thing is I'd never shot up before in my life. I'd never even seen no needles, man, and my brother, man, he shot me up, man. And this first time I ever had a needle stuck in me in my life. And my brother had Hep C, and he didn't know it. And he gave me Hep C. I was 19 years old, bro. So that's for later in my testimony. But I've had Hep C since I was 19. I'm 47 now. And so anyways, I'm staying with my brother, man, and we're just partying up. And I'm calling back home to Georgia to my grandparents, tell them all these crazy stories, and they wiring me money all the time. And I met this crazy chick, man. We had these bikers that lived down the road, the Banditos, and I met this chick down there. She used to run with them Banditos, and she was from Colorado. And anyway, we was dating, and then I'm like, man, this chick's crazy, man. I gotta get away from her. And then so she's gone for a little while, and then here she come pulling up that Z28 at my brother's, man. I'm like, oh God. She come in there with these papers talking about she's pregnant. I'm like, oh Jesus Christ. I'm like, oh Lord. I called my daddy, man. I said, Dad, I don't know what I'm gonna do, man. This woman's wild, man. She's crazy. She come here talking about she's pregnant, and my dad told me this years later after I come back home. But what my dad told me on the phone was, he's like, son, you got to love the one you're with. And he told me years later, he said I should have sent you a plane ticket and told you to come on. He said, but He said, I heard that from a song. You gotta love the one you're with. I was like, oh, yeah, thanks a lot. So anyway, so I'm like, well, I guess I guess I got to do the right thing and be a daddy. And so I tell her, I'm like, hey man, if we're gonna have this kid, man, we got to get away from here, because I mean there was so much dope. I mean, I'm like, this kid's gonna come out with 3 arms and 6 legs, and I'm like, so. But it was weird too, because I mean, sometimes, like, so we got sober, I guess, right? So I'd be sleeping, and so, but I wake up and they would think I was asleep. But this dude kept coming over, and he was talking about, yeah, you need to go. They called me Georgia boy, or like you need to go to Colorado, Georgia boy, and all this, and he'd be giving money and stuff, and come to find out, I wasn't the daddy. He was, but anyway. So I didn't find this out till later either. But so, anyways, we're like, all right, well, we got to get out of here. So I'm like, well, we can go to Georgia, and she's like, no, we'll go to Colorado. That's where I'm from. My parents got a big marble and granite business out there, and they got airplanes and all that. I'm like, what? Really? I'm like, you serious? I'm like, airplanes? She's like, yeah, they got stunt planes and all kind of stuff. I'm like, dude, I met you at the Bandito's Clubhouse, man. I'm like, you talking about you come from a family like that? I'm like, all right, well, let's go out there. Oh, that was a bad idea, man. I went to Colorado, man, in '98. I'm thinking things are going to be good. And man, it didn't take me no time to get right back in the scene, man. You know how it is. You go somewhere new, it don't matter if you change places or areas or whatever. You're going to find the same crowd, you know. And so I found them, and then doing... So got doing meth pretty heavy down there in Colorado, and all them boys. There was a bunch of white boys out there, and that's who I was running with. And like I said, I grew up conflicting things. Like my grandparents were good people, man, and when I was little, like there's this woman named Miss Mutz, this old black lady. She used to take care of me when I was little, and I loved her, man, and I loved her kids and her family, and they loved me. But on the other hand, I had my daddy and all his friends, and they was like big time racists, man. You know, so I grew up around that stuff. But the older I got, the more the devil was pulling at me, man. And so I got into that scene pretty big. Like I got skinhead out, and then it didn't take me long, and I was in prison in Colorado, man. Went to prison, and joined a prison gang out there called American Nazi Party, and prison don't rehabilitate people. It didn't me. It made me feel like I was part of something then, you know, like this was my family now. And like I told you, I grew up in church with my grandparents, and I knew who the Lord was and all that. I knew what was right, what was wrong, and I know what it was now. I mean, the Holy Spirit was pulling at me, but. And there, I wasn't going to no church in there. We was going out and we would go bloat. I don't know if any of y'all ever heard of that. Like it's like a Viking religion, man, Odinism. We was worshiping like Odin and Thor and all the Norse gods, and but something was always in the back of my head that you on the wrong path, son. That's the wrong spiritual path. And I'm glad God forgave me all that, that's for sure. But so anyways, I'd be in prison, and we run around doing what we do in there. And that'd be like the only time I was really sober was when I was locked up. And I liked the way I felt too. I mean, so I went to prison 4 times in Colorado, pretty much back to back. I did a total of 16 years altogether. I would go into prison, and I'd go in, and I'd do my time, and then they had mandatory parole out there. So then I'd get out, but I wasn't free. They let me out on parole, and I wouldn't even report the parole or nothing. I'd be straight out the gate. I'd hit Denver, man, see the boys in Denver, man. They'd give me whatever, you know, a big bag of dope, a gun, a car, and tell me to go out to Grand Junction where I'm from and do my thing out there. And that's what I did, man. I ran hard out there, selling drugs, doing drugs, selling guns, everything, man. Stealing cars, man, selling them at chop shops, and it's all kinds of stuff, man. I get in high-speed chases. That's the longest time I ever made it out. Well, I made it 9 months one time. I got like 6 high-speed chases in 9 months. I kept getting away, but it was just a revolving door, man. And it was crazy because I didn't care about going back to prison, man. I was like, that was my family in there, you know. My so-called family, my bros and all that, and so, and I'd have people like when I was getting out, like I'm telling you, I've been sober in there the whole time, like the way I was feeling, man, and everything. Yeah, but as soon as it was time for me to go, I'd had whoever was picking me up with a cooler full of beer, bottle of liquor, and a big bag of meth, and then straight out the gate. That's what I was doing, and that's how I lived in it. And it sucked because I always knew that any minute could be my last, that I was going to be going back. And so I never made really any plans for the future or anything, because anytime I could get pulled over for anything, and I got parole warrants, and I always either had a gun or dope on me, and so I was going back, and then I was going to go back with more charges, and being on parole would, enhance it even more. So like I said, I did 16 years, man, all for stupid crap, nonviolent stuff. Like I said, having guns, but not using no gun in the crime. I'd have one in the vehicle when I get pulled over for some traffic crap or whatever. And then they finally got me on a high-speed chase. I got locked up for whatever, possession, and then step I took a charge for a friend of mine, the old lady, because I was already going back, and I took a charge for a stolen car, and went back. They gave me, I did almost 9 years altogether on that stupid car. They knew I didn't steal it. The DA was like, there ain't no way you stole the car. The car was reported stolen 6 months before you even got out. I'm like, it don't matter. I stole it. So, anyways, them folks, they had a big pot farm up there. But, anyways, during all this time, during that last go-round at the end, towards the end of it, or middle, I met Maggie out there, and we got married, and that's one of the times I got out and tried to do good. I had a good job building oil field equipment, and I was good at it. I loved it, liked doing it, and did good for a while, and stupid me got back into the same crap, brought it in our house, and then she stuck with me, and then finally I went back just on my parole thing. All I do is just finish it a little bit, like 50 days, and then I'll be done, free man, walk out of there. It'll be off paper. So my plan was get out of there, and then we moved back to Georgia. So get out 2016, April 2016. Yeah, I had this bright idea. I'm like, well, I'm going to take Maggie down to Georgia, see if she likes it, let the family meet her. But since we're going down there, I'm going to take a bunch of pot with me because my buddy's got that pot farm, So we're going to haul some pot across the United States down here to Georgia. Because I didn't want to come back to Georgia broke and be asking nobody for nothing. That was stupid. But anyways, so we come down here, she meets my family, and we come back to Colorado, and now I'm like, man, I'm really getting, my head's getting blowed up about this weed thing, because I got access to all this pot and stuff. I'm like, you know what, I'm going to make another trip down there, make some more money, and then we have money to move when I come back for the third trip. But it ain't work out like that. I come down here, got hooked up with people that I grew up with and all that stuff, and I'm like, you know what, I don't want to be married, man. I'm come down here and just keep living my life, partying and all that. And so we got divorced. I left her in Colorado, and So I was down here, that's 2017, I'm back in Georgia finally. That's what I dreamed about the whole time I was in prison, coming back home to Georgia. And I get down here and staying out with my dad's place. And I'm hustling and doing the same crap I was doing in Colorado, but being smarter about it and not being as wild. And then my daddy died, and I was in 2018, and then that's when I went off the deep end. Then started drinking. I started drinking like every day. I drank like a fifth of liquor a day, do about a gram of meth or whatever, and just run around partying, dating all kind of chicks. Maggie comes down here. She trying to get back in my life, and thank God she stuck around and kept trying. But I got in a bad way, man, after my daddy died, and I'd come home because I wanted to be around my family, but they didn't want nothing to do with me because they knew what I was doing, and then I got busted down here too, over in Burke County, and got put on probation, and then COVID hit, and I done got to a point then, like I was just finally, for the first time in my life, I was wanting help. I knew it was out of control, and I was just sick and tired of living like that, man. And my older brother, he's been clean 11 years now. He told me, I had a friend named Luke Bergerme I grew up with, and he'd been in contact with Luke, and Luke had told my brother about NBIC, and so my brother was telling me about NBIC, and then Luke called me and talked to me, and then my uncle, he had sent a bunch of guys down there. My uncle used to be the sheriff of Burke County for like 36 years, and he was friends with Mr. Donald. So I told him, I finally broke down, and told him, I got to change, man. I want my life to change. I'm sick of this. And my uncle was like, well, you go down there, Mr. Donald will take good care of you, man. He's good people. So that's what I did. I came down here in 2020, and it felt, man, I'm telling you, man, it felt so good when I came through them doors. I mean, I looked like hell, though, man. I'm telling you, bro, I was probably 120 pounds, maybe. But I was at the end. I couldn't. Like I said, every day I got up, I drank every day, all day, fifth of liquor. Sometimes a half gallon of liquor a day, every day, for a year straight. So came down here, and things started turning around for me in my life, man. Things were good, man. I come in here for church service, man, and I've been numb for so long, but like the songs and the stuff, like, I mean, I always sat over there and like, I'd be like crying, but I wasn't like sad. It was tears of joy, man. It was awesome, and I just loved it. It was like, and Save 'em all, Paul, come one night, man, and yeah, he got there. Y'all know how I save him, how it gets into the service, man. Boy, as soon as he got there, man, I jumped. I come running up there, man, and I was glad I did, man, because I've been holding back for so long. God had been tugging at me. The Holy Spirit had through my whole life, man, and I laid all that stuff, all that bad stuff I done told y'all about, all of it, man. I laid it all down, and I gave it all to God, man, and all that lifted off of me. And like they say, you're a new creation, and this real, man. I'm telling you, like, if you new guys here, like, if you got bad stuff, man, and whatever in your past and in your history and whatever, it's been like whatever you're ashamed of or whatever, or just he'll wash you, man, and make you clean and make you a new person, something that you're proud to be. You know, he'll give you true feelings, good feelings that no chemical can, and he'll take you through the hard times, and so my life started changing then, and I graduated, and I went to work for Asplin, and I moved right up the road up here to the house I'm staying at now, but it's like 2 miles up the road, and I was living there. I was coming up here, coming to church services and stuff, and working for Asplin, and then I couldn't stand our foreman though, man. He sucked, bro, big time. So I ended up getting a job in Augusta at Mathis Motors. It's like a big truck shop, and they got a big trailer shop and all that. And like the owners are real good friends with my mom. And I got a new stepdaddy now. I ain't got one like that one. I got a stepdaddy now that's a good man, don't drink, they ain't never drank, treats my mama good, he's a good Christian man. And they hooked me up with Mr. Bob Matthews and Tanya Matthews, and they're good Christian people. And because I was scared to go back to Augusta just to work anywhere, but I got hired on them and moved up there and moved in with my brother. And I was away from down here. I wasn't coming back to meetings and stuff down here, and I was just working and coming home, and then I don't know what you say to that. I mean, I got out of mind, and then I was up there around my old stomping grounds, and eventually I gave in, man. I was like, you know what, I can have a little drink, and then drank on a Friday night, and that was it. And next thing you know, next weekend I'm getting me a 12-pack, and after that, oh hell, I ain't getting no beer. I ain't like beer. I'm gonna get me some liquor. And it didn't take long. I'm back in Beach Island with all my buddies, and it says in the Bible, you get that demon out of there. You get him out of your heart and out of your head. And you mess around and open that door again, he ain't coming back alone. He's coming back 7 of his buddies. And that ain't no lie. I lived it. And so I relapsed. And then I came back down here because I knew this is where I needed to be. I knew I'd had a taste of something good, you know, and I knew I was on the right path here, and I came back. And the thing is, I worked hard my whole life, man. I grew up on that farm, and I've always worked hard. And that's what they like around here. They like, if you work, you're a hard worker, you know. But I ended up, I wasn't here long. And this Wendell come talk to me, and he said, hey, we got a guy, he come through the program, he's a real good man. Him and his family got a shop out in Sandersville, and they need some help right now. You know, it's supposed to be just a temporary thing. They got a junkyard too. They got a automotive shop, and then they got a junkyard down the road. But they were crushing like 800 cars, and they just needed like help for like 2 weeks. So me and a kid named Zach went out there and worked for him. Well, 2 weeks come up, and Zach, he graduated and left. So Mr. Lee and Hudson, people that own it, they're like, man, you're a good worker, man. We got to have you. So I was like, all right. And so I was working for them. I was in the program, and they gave me a company truck to drive. And so I drive back and forth to Sandersville a long way. It's about an hour and 15 minutes one way. So this is for all you guys that get here and you always, oh, I need you to start working and making some money. It ain't all about that sometimes. I learned the hard way, which I usually do. But so I'm working, and I'm only making one meeting a night, the 7 o'clock meeting, and I'm just working. And needless to say, graduation time came, and gets with better judgment. I'm like, you know what? Because I was working for Mathis Motors, and I still have my job up there with them. But while I was in the program, I was working for Hudson and them in Sandersville. So I'm like, and during this time I was in here, I got my CDL and all that. So they wanted me back up there at Mathis Motors, and plus I was going to be making more money because I have my CDL now. I'm like, which I should have never went back up. I should have stayed where I was at with Hudson and Mr. Lee. And, but you know how that money, I'm like, you know what, I got the CDL now, and these people want me up here. And so graduated and left. Went back to Augusta. Same thing, back to my brother's house. And I didn't make it 2 months, man. I didn't make it 2 months. And so then I'm like, man, I went off I took off, didn't show up. It's like 18 days later, these people are calling me, and they're like, just come on back to work Monday, man, everything's fine. And I'm like, come back to work, man. I've been gone 17 days up in a motel. I'm thinking, man, and then I'm like, man, I felt like so ashamed too, like these people didn't help me and all that. So finally, I'm like, run out of money for the hotel. So I stayed out on this property I used to stay out on in Burke County. I had a camper out there and all that, and had a well, ain't had no power, had a generator. So I'm out there, then got right back into this stupid crap again. And now I'm going big. I'm like, you know what? If I get caught doing anything, I'm going to prison for a long time, so I ain't doing no little stuff. So I start taking equipment stuff, tractors, bucket trucks, and this went on for a year, and I was doing that same crap, drinking every day, looked like hell, and I was sick. I'm telling you now, I was really sick and tired. I was really out my bottom, but I didn't know what to do. And I went over to Grovetown. I'd been to a wedding like a week before my brother's wedding, and they had a construction site there next door, and I seen it. I'm like, dang, look at that nice John Deere over there. It's got a bucket loader on the front too. I'm like, man, there ain't no gate around that place or nothing, man. And there I go. I go back over there with my truck, my trailer, 2 a.m, half drunk, load this tractor up on my trailer, get pulled over by Columbia County at 2:30 in the morning in Grovetown. I'm sucked up. I got a Dodge 1500 with a big old John Deere on it. I'm talking, I got so much tongue weight on the trailer, man, the truck's about to do a wheelie. So I'm like, man, I got to pull over, man. My chains are dragging in the front. I'm like, I got to get this tractor moved on here. So I'll pull in the Walgreens right there, and I unchained the tractor, man. I'm trying to move the tractor back on the trailer. I got Columbia counties up in there. They're asking me all these, and I'm back and forth. They're like, all these tires on this trailer is about flat. And now I'm cranking up my generator, got my compressor going. I got my hose ran on, I'm like pumping on. I'm like, that good enough for you? Yeah. And they're like, what are you doing? I'm like, I got a work order to pick this tractor up and fix it. It's broke. Taking it to my shop. And they're like, yeah, they wasn't buying that. They're like, well, where'd you get? Because they didn't watch me on all these cameras. They didn't watch me come off the interstate into Grovetown. I didn't know they had all this stuff. They didn't watch me come in, empty trailer and everything. Now I get back on. I disappeared for a while. Now I'm back on the road. with a tractor on the trailer. So, yeah, I'm like, I tell them, oh yeah, I got it from over here. I got it from this job site. So they go around there, and then they got the sign up front with the contractor's name. So they call the contractors, and they like, hey, you got a work order on your tractor to get repaired? They're like, no, our tractor's fine. And they're like, really? Ain't nobody supposed to have it? And they're like, no. They're like, we got a guy 2 miles on the road. He got it on his trailer. Well, so they tell me, well, you got keys for this thing? I'm like, yeah, of course I do. I get up there and crank it up. So I get on there and crank it up. They put the ramps down on my trailer. They're like, back it off. I back it off. And they're like, all right, cut it off. Get off. So I get down on the tractor, man. They cuffed me up, man. And I ain't gonna lie, that was the best feeling I had in a long time because I knew it was over, man. I was like, thank you, God, man. I was like, serious, man. Like, Jesus saved my life, but that daggone tractor had a lot to do with it, too. Because, yeah. So they took me to jail, and then so I'm stuck in Columbia County because I can't, let's see. I was on probation in Burke County, so they had a hole. I'm like, I got to get back to NBIC, man, because dude, it's going to be, third time's going to be a charm, man. I know for a fact now, like, this has got to be the end, man. I'm 47 now. And so I bond out of there so I can go to Burke County and then hopefully go from Burke County and come back down here. So during this time, Maggie's back in my life. And I'm telling her, you know, hey, I'm going to go back to rehab in Garfield. And I'm like, you going to come down there with me. You're going to transfer your job. She worked at Dollar General now. And I'm like, you can transfer your job to one of them little Dollar Generals around here. And like, trust me, it's going to be good down there. Because Colonel was going to let us stay with him over in Twin City and all that. While I was in rehab or till we could get a place and all that. And so I bonded out from there, but they didn't let me out. The Burke County came and got me. I went to Burke County, and finally the probation people finally let me sign a waiver to come down here. And I was around October 13th. That's almost 2 years ago. And so we come down here, and we've been clean now for 22 months, 22 and a half months. And God, I mean, Jesus, hey man, he's giving me a life now, a great life, man. I love my life, dude. I don't like I've been set free of all that crap from my past, man, and I love life now, and I try to help people that I see that are struggling, and out of this tractor thing, because I thought I was going to prison. Like, I should have went to prison for real. For that, I've already done all this time out in Colorado, you know, and I've been on probation out here. Like, so I thought for sure I was going to prison. And so anyway, I got a private attorney, and because I had a public defender, she told me, yeah, the best deal, you're going to get 6 years in prison, and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, you know what, you're fired. So thank God I talked to my mama, and my mama, I can't believe she did this. This is another miracle. My mama loaned me money for a private attorney. And so anyway, I come back in the program, man, and I'm like, I told myself, I ain't leaving. I ain't leaving till God tells me it's time to leave. I ain't doing this no more, you know what I'm saying? You're going to drive my car. I'm like, Jesus is going to drive my, not me. I ain't driving no more. No more, man. And so I gave it, I mean, I totally surrendered everything, man. And so back in the program, and graduation comes, and stay here. Maggie's, we've got a house like 2 miles from here, so I go home on pass, be with her. I stayed down there with Stosh, down there by the pecan plant, and went back to work for Hudson and Mr. Lee, and in Sandersville, and I just take baby steps with everything now, and I pray about things, and where we work, because Bert back there works with me too. That's my best buddy right there. I bet he gets tired of me sometimes, though, because I know I'm aggravating. But we work for some really good people, man. I mean, they're awesome people. And Hudson, he come through the program. He got probably like 7 or 8 years clean now. A good man, got a good family, and the people we work with, it's just a good environment, and it's just a long way to drive every day, though. But another thing, my mama finally seen I got the miracle. So my mom's got a whole bunch of land over in Vidette, where I'm from. So anyway, she gave me and Maggie 5 acres, so we could build a house. So I've been over there clearing. We clear an acre off of it, because it's like 5 acres of planted pines. But yeah, things are going good. God's just showing up in my life. Oh yeah, I forgot this court thing. We went to court for the tractor. Me and let's see, and Jeff went. Me and Jeff and Hudson, my boss, and then my uncle that used to be the sheriff in Burke County went. They all spoke on we went in for open sentencing. You know what I'm saying? Mercy of the court. And man, we got there, and I'm telling you, you could feel the Holy Spirit in there, man. It was awesome, man. And the judge, they read off all my stuff, the DA and all that. But the judge gave me 10 years probation and 100 days of weekends in Columbia County. So I had to do a minimum of 2 weekends a month in Columbia County Jail. So, but I got blessed big time. All glory goes to God, man, on that. And like when I'm there, when I go to Columbia County, man, and I hang out with these dudes, man, and I tell them, what's going on in my life and stuff, and I witness to them, and the ones that are, that you tell that are searching, man, and they want to straighten up and do different. So I don't have like a ministry there or nothing, but I just share my testimony with them and what I'm doing, and tell them about this place, and tell them about Jesus, man, and tell them how Jesus was the only thing that worked for me. Because I tried everything my whole life and destroyed it. So like I said, man, I got blessed on all that, and I ain't in prison. And me and Maggie got married again. We got married here at church. That's a little story too, because when the first time I was here, I was out there working in the pecan orchards for Jake, for Miss Joanna's son, and I'd be out there picking up sticks, man. I'm telling you, I walked miles and miles every day, up and down the roads. I'd go in front of the pecan harvester. I'd be picking all them sticks up out of them roads, and it was a lot of walking, man. A lot of thinking. He did a lot of time with Jesus out there, man. And he was trying to tell me then I need to get back with my wife, because that's who I, you know what I'm saying? Like, I grew up, my family got divorced. My mom and them got divorced, but I was always like, I ain't never going to get divorced. If I get married, that's who I'm staying with. But then I did get divorced. But God was telling me, no, that's who I meant for you to be with. But it took me a while to come around, but I came around. Huh, baby? And we've been doing this thing together, man, and it's working out great. I got a little daughter now, a little Chihuahua named Ariel. And I don't know, just know we're all righteous children of God now. There's no room for shame and none of that crap. We get up here and tell the bad things that happen in our life, so we can show God's glory of what He can do and set you free from. And I probably missed a whole lot of stuff, but I love y'all and hope it helps somebody.